Hello, everyone. Okay, so I am so excited for today. Lots of good things coming up this next couple of months. Before I take any calls here, I just want to talk about a couple of those things. So for those of you, hold on, give me a second. I'll answer some calls in just a minute here. For those of you who have been to see me for a private reading, and know that I live in the southeast section of the city, just so you all know, I will be moving this weekend, or sorry, the next month. What am I talking about this weekend? See, my head's already 3 paces ahead. I will be moving at the end of this month to the southwest. So it was a great location right outside of downtown. I'm very excited. Kids are very excited, and hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for people to get a hold of me there. That being said, I also would like to just let you guys know that somebody has booked a group reading in Edmonton, so I'm coming to Edmonton this weekend. However, she had some last minute cancellations, so she has some spots available for this group reading. The benefits of a group reading are that it is only $60 a person as opposed to my regular phone reading rate of $115 for a reading. It usually lasts, there's about 10 to 12 people that will be there, and it lasts about 3 hours, I would say. And I try to make sure that everybody gets a message. So if you are in the Edmonton area and you are interested in attending a group reading where you would get to see me live, or if you're on a budget or whatever the reasons might be, if you would like to attend this group reading, then please send me a PM and I will be able to send you the address. It's for this Saturday evening at 6:30, I believe. So, okay, so that's about all that I had to say now, and somebody's called a few times and I've missed it, but okay, so here we go. For those of you, I'm very excited. Okay. Hello?
Hi, Tracy.
Hi. Are you calling for the free reading?
I am.
Okay, what was your first name?
Heather.
Heather. Okay. So you're the first person today. So if you've ever seen my videos, it just takes me a minute longer for the first person just to get all in tuned and stuff.
For sure. I watch every week.
Okay, awesome. So can I get you to do a little grounding exercise for me where you put both feet flat on the floor?
Okay.
And then I would like you to take a deep breath and picture that deep breath starting at your big toe and pulling it all the way up through your body and then blow it straight at me. Then I'll just take a minute to focus.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay, so Heather, I've got to be honest, the way that this information is coming through already is a little bit confusing. So let me just sort this out here. Hold on. Okay, interesting. So you have a number of people that are stepping forward, but I can clearly see that there's either two sides of the family, or it's your family and husband's family or something, but there's definitely two different families stepping through.
Okay.
One lets me know that there's not as many people that have passed away on that side.
Yes.
And the other family has a great deal amount of members that are on the other side of that family.
For sure.
Okay, so now give me a second. I'm not sure who's going to go first here. This is just how they introduce themselves, this waft of people coming through. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I want to go to the father figure. I'm not sure if this is dad or grandpa or maybe even an uncle. He's definitely coming through as a father figure. Hold on, I'm going to get him to validate how he passed. Whew. As I do that, he definitely takes my breath away. Hold on, slow down. Okay, so what he did is he took my breath away, and then I felt a little bit of pain all through my body. And then he was like talking about how it was a good thing that he went when he did because he didn't want to live in pain. And if he had lived longer, I don't think his situation was going to get worse. The interesting thing is he's not showing me cancer. So I'm not, it could be cancer because that's how he's describing it. However, it feels more like, and I'm getting like the shakes, like Parkinson's or seizure or something like this. Do you know what that would mean?
No, I don't have any strong male presence that passed other than my brother-in-law.
Okay. Hold on a second. So let's see if the information relates to him. Would he have passed something to do with where he couldn't breathe and then there's all this shaking, and I don't know what the shaking is. Sometimes I've experienced that shaking, like if there's an accident or something and you're like, you feel that crash or that shake of the accident. Sometimes I will feel, I don't know, or like a heart attack where they just like almost have a seizure, if that makes sense.
We're not quite sure. He took his own life.
Oh, I see. Okay, hold on a second. You know what? That's interesting. That was not who was originally stepping forward, and that actually makes a lot of sense to me. So if you watch my videos, you'll see that there's this pattern with spirit. When somebody who is younger passes away, when you call me for reading, the first person that steps forward is not usually that younger person. It's the people who are above him, that are already on the other side, that come through first, so that you know that there was people there to greet them on the other side when they passed away.
Okay.
So this older male gentleman that I'm saying is like a father figure, and I have like goosebumps up and down my whole body right now. I'm not sure why, but massive goosebumps. He's very much wanting to know that this younger person is on the other side. As soon as I tried to see if that's who this was, I felt his energy step forward. And it's a lot easier for me to tell that this would be the person that took their own life, because people that take their own life, they have white lighters around them, which are like beings that they have no features like faces or fingers or anything. They're just human-shaped light beings that are usually around people that either took their own life or had a very traumatic death.
Okay.
Okay, so now that all being said, hold on a second. So this older, remember I said there was two sides of the family. One had fewer people on that side and the other one had many more?
Yes.
This young man that passed from suicide, he's on the fewer people side, isn't he?
Well, he's not. He was only related to me by marriage, so that could be why.
Okay. Slow down. Interesting. So he's not really saying anything, but I feel like I'm going to come back to him. I'm not sure what this is about. Spirit's coordinating something here. So then we go to the other side, and there's a lady that steps forward. Hold on a second. She's very interesting. I like her energy. She comes through very energetically, like she gets very excited. She's like, I'm here. Of course I'm here. Of course I'm here. And she feels very what I call grandma gush. So where, you know how grandmas are just like, oh my God, I love you so much. And that's kind of the energy that she brings forward. But it's interesting because as she does this, she puts on the rose-colored glasses, and she's telling me that towards the end of her life, she wasn't able to express herself that way so much.
Yes.
And so she's over-exaggerating that expression on this side so that you know how much she means it. Hold on a sec. She is going on a mile a minute about all the changes that have been taking place in your life over the last number of years. She's talking about how much you've grown up and how you've come so far and how proud she is of you. And slow down, slow down. It's like there's this feeling of like, can you believe this? Can you believe that all this is really happening? Can you believe this? She keeps taking me to a wedding. Are you married by any chance?
I am.
Okay, did she pass before your wedding?
Yeah, my husband and I just renewed our vows a couple years ago.
There we go. So that's what she's talking about, because she's showing me the wedding and she's talking about how this couldn't have been more perfect and that she attended this wedding in spirit. Very happy. And again, I get goosebumps when I talk about when I repeat what she's saying to me about how important that you say you renewed your vows, but there's an importance behind this. She's very proud of you. It's almost like, we worked through our stuff together, we fixed it, and we got through, and we're more in love than ever, and this is kind of why we did this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And see, the older generation, they have a very high respect for people that work through their issues and stay together, because that was the norm in their generation. Divorce and this separation that we go through was not the norm as it is today. So she's very proud of you for that fact. So she's interesting. She walks over to the young man and she's like showing me the handshake, which is my symbol for either spirit that meets for the first time on the other side or is making peace on the other side. But however, in this situation, I really feel like they're meeting for the first time. Or not right at this moment, but they have met on the other side, and that she's kind of she wants you to let the family know that they've taken him under their wing on that side, that he is definitely okay. He has definitely crossed over, but he has some issues that he's still trying to work out. It's almost like, it's interesting the way your grandmother comes through, because it's almost like she's acting as a interpreter for him. It's almost like the tragedy around there was so much emotion around when he passed away that he's still not, it's almost like he wasn't good at communicating when he was here in the physical world, like, oh my God, I can't do it on this side. And so she's coming through acting as like a broker to try to give this information to, you said this is on your husband's side of the family?
No, it's my sibling side.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That actually makes even more sense, because she wants your siblings to know that she's also watching over them and their family. She's very motherly, this lady. It's funny. Did she I know this is like cliche because she's old, but did she like to bake a lot? Because she keeps trying to feed me.
Yes, she did. She baked and cooked a lot.
She's keeps putting...
When she was well.
Yes. And
yeah.
See, what they do on the other side is they go back to doing the things that they enjoyed the most when they were here in the physical world. So she keeps stuffing food in front of me. She's like, you need to eat, dear. You're too skinny. You need to eat. You need to eat. But then what she does is she goes to you, and I don't know if you have lost weight recently or if you've been doing something to take care of your health, but she's showing me that symbol for that. And she's talking again about how proud she is of you. And it's there's a feeling of don't give up. I'm your biggest cheerleader on this side. It almost feels to me like you're training for something. There's that kind of dedication. I don't miss a session, or do you know what she's talking about?
I recently gained 15 pounds. I've always been the one she said, you're too skinny. You need to eat.
Interesting. That's why. Okay. So that would be why she's giving you all this encouragement of you can do it, you can do it. And she's making me feel that feeling of training, where you just change your routine a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you're training for something, you build it into your routine. And so that's what she's talking about. She's like, you can, hold on. Slow down. Okay, whoa. That was 3 messages in one. Slow down. So she goes, Mwah, you're perfect the way you are. You don't have to lose weight because she thinks you look better this way. And then she goes, but she supports whatever you want to do. And because they hear your thoughts and that you're not so comfortable with this weight gain, this is why she's like giving you this encouragement. But she's making it very clear that she doesn't personally think that you need to lose this weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She's pulling her energy back, but she's wishing a happy birthday to the male member of the family. And she takes me to the side, so I can't tell if that's brother or your husband. But there's a male member of the family to the side who's having a birthday coming up or just passed.
My brother-in-law that passed away, his birthday just passed.
There we go. So again, she's validating that she is with his spirit on the other side, and that seems to be a very important message. It's almost like, I have to tell you, so it's almost like people are not going to believe this unless they see it. So it's not even that he has a huge message other than that he's okay on the other side and his family needs to know this. But the fact that this is on video that they can view later, they both find very entertaining on that side because there's no denying it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, she's expressing her love. She's like, you know what, Tracy, we're going to end it here. There's lots of people trying to call in, and we could read for hours. She's showing me that you have a lineup on the other side, but she just wanted to touch base with you and let you know how proud she is of you for the work that you've done, offer you that encouragement not to give up, because she's making me feel like you are on the brink of some really great things in your life. It's just a matter of pushing through the challenges. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And to also give your brother-in-law's family that peace of knowing that he's absolutely on the other side and safe and at peace.
Okay.
I hope that helps you.
I just have a question.
Okay.
Did you see any children for me?
Coming up in the future?
No,
Okay.
On the other side.
That's what I thought you meant, because I'm like, coming up in the future? Nope, no children. But not anytime soon anyway, but absolutely, when you ask that question, see, for me as a medium, if you think about or mention somebody on the other side, their soul kind of steps forward. But what your grandmother does is she kind of puts her hand up in caution, and she said this might not be the right time for that reading, because she would like to, that's a reading that would need to take their time and whatnot, because you can't rush through a message like that with a child. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
She's absolutely showing me that the child is there, but then she shows me 2 children. So I'm not sure how there is 2 children in the family that relate. One feels like it's been there for a way longer time than the other one, so there must have been another child lost in the family at some point, because she's showing me 2 children.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, these free readings are wonderful because everybody can get a certain amount of message.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when it comes to the big things that are very important that we don't rush through, they just are not willing to bring that forward in this type of setting because they don't want you to feel cheapened. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Okay, awesome. Well, I hope that was helpful for you anyway.
It was, for sure. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oops. I just missed that last caller. I almost had it. Okay, I'm feeling a lot of male energy calling in right now. I don't know if this is calling in or coming in from the other side, but we'll see. Hold on here. Hello?
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 Hi.
Hi, are you calling in for the free reading?
Yes.
Okay, can I get you to do me one favor and turn me down in the background?
Yep, I am doing that.
Awesome. What was your first name?
Hi.
Hi. What was your first name, hun?
Jessie.
Jessie?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second here to sort through this. I just had a wave of energy fly at me in between calls there, so let me just sort through this. Hold on one second here.
Thank you so much for doing this. I think it's absolutely wonderful that you're able to give this gift away. I just want to say that first.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're going to start with the dog. Okay. There's definitely a few people that are there, but they allow the dog to come through first. They really want you to know that the dog is safe and at peace, and they just thought it was fitting that the dog comes through first. So you lost a dog not that long ago that was close to you, or there's a dog on the other side that you've missed very much?
Through somebody else, yes.
I see.
Absolutely. My brother-in-law, for sure.
Okay, so hold on, slow down. So there's a few people that step forward. First of all, there's a couple that come through holding hands. So when I see a couple coming through holding hands, that's usually my symbol that they were married in life or they were together in life.
Yeah.
So either that would be both of your parents are on the other side, or it's a set of grandparents that are both on the other side.
Yep.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Man, I gotta tell you, there's a lot of happiness between the two of them to be reunited.
Yes, absolutely.
There's so much happiness. Like, I just see them, like, holding onto each other's hands and being like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be with him again.
Yeah, for sure. That makes perfect sense.
Is this your grandparents, sweetie?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so did Grandma live longer than Grandpa?
Yeah.
Okay, and because she keeps taking me to her eyes, and she's like making me feel like I can see perfect again. Like, this is awesome. She's so enjoying the vision she has on the other side. So, was she losing her vision here in the physical world?
Sorry, say that again?
Her vision?
She was just slowly deteriorating with kind of a little bit of everything.
There you go, because she takes me right to her eyes, and she feels there's an extreme amount of relief at the fact that she can see clearly again, because there's this feeling of being highly independent about her. Yeah. And at the end of her life, she's talking about having to give up a lot of that independence.
Yes.
And that was very difficult for her.
Yes, 100% true.
And it's interesting. She's making me feel like, you know, she could have passed a year before she passed, and she would have been okay with that. Like, did we really have to get to the stage where people are changing my diapers? Like, seriously.
Exactly.
And she's showing me this emotion of all I wanted to do was to see my husband again. That's all I wanted to do.
Yes.
She's showing me the number of the number 50. So were they married 50 years, or
they were married? Oh gosh, yeah, it would be something like that. Yeah, they were married their whole life.
There you go. So this is absolutely your grandparents stepping forward. Your grandfather has a nickname for you, though, however. He makes me feel like either he passed when you were very young, or he passed like a great deal of time ago, because he's showing me my symbol for age transition, where they watch over you as you grow. And he's making me feel like, I don't know if he's calling you like Button, or like, I don't know how to explain it. There's some other nickname. He's not calling you by your name. Hold on.
And this person is like an older person?
This is the person that's with Grandma.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would be like Molly or Susie Q or something.
There we go. He like makes it a point that he didn't call you by your name. He called you by nicknames.
He never did call by her first name.
That's exactly. So he's just validating that this is his spirit that has watched over you. And that's exactly the way he puts it. He's like, he gets kind of serious, and he goes, sweetheart, what you need to know is I've been here with you every step of the way. Those moments where you felt like your whole world went dark, and he's like, we're not going to get into those. He shows me my symbol for privacy, that he's not going to air that on, you know, the live live video. However, he's very aware that you went through a very dark time.
Yeah.
And he's talking about that you were not alone. Like, he's going to make me tear up. He's talking that you were absolutely not alone, that his spirit was with you at every step of that, and that he's telling you to have some patience because it feels like that light is starting to open up in your world again. However, you may not be completely out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
He's like talking about don't give up. He's very proud of you. You've got a lot of help on the other side. But
I do.
You do.
Unfortunately, I do.
A lot of them you don't even know, I have to say, because he's taken me to the generation above you. He shows me the generation that you know here, and then he takes me like even above you, and he's like, you've got us here. It's almost like if you had a big court battle or something that you're in the middle of, and he's like, oh, don't you worry, we got 50 lawyers over here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you happy now?
Aww.
Is there happen to be another male figure coming through?
There is absolutely. Remember I said there was like 3 people that stepped forward originally. So there's the married couple, and then there is the gentleman on the other side. So I'm just going to try to tune into his energy here. Hold on a second.
Thank you.
He snaps his fingers, so his passing was sudden or unexpected, or he passed quicker than we thought he would. But there's a suddenness about it. And then he just comes forward with extreme, extreme comfort he's trying to offer you. He definitely has a father figure feel to him. Is this your dad, hon?
Yeah, it's my dad.
So he just comes forward and like wraps his arms around you, and he shows me bear hug, and he like lifts you off the ground.
Yep.
Is that how he used to greet you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, hold on. You know what he's doing? He's apologizing for the mess that his death caused.
Yes, he took his life.
Oh, I see.
And tomorrow's his anniversary for 2 years, so it's just kind of been an emotional time, so couldn't have came at the perfect time, so...
Have you tried to call in before?
Pardon me?
Have you tried to call in before?
No, I haven't.
Well, see, there's a lot of people going, you bitch, right now. But
exactly. I needed it, right?
Exactly, and this is what I tell people all the time. You will get through when you need it the most.
Absolutely, and I firmly believe that.
So he is absolutely apologizing for the trouble that his death caused. He's putting the blame fully responsibly on himself. It's almost like the family is blaming somebody else. That
we were trying to, because you don't ever want to blame them, right?
Yes, but your dad is asking you not to do that.
Okay.
Because you know what he's making me feel like? Was this a lady?
Yes, it was.
Because he's making me feel like, she might not have been perfect in the whole thing, but his death affects her too. And that he doesn't want his legacy to be just one of destruction. He doesn't want that to be, when people think of him, that they just get angry and feel betrayed, and, he doesn't want that to be the emotion that you're surrounded with when you think of him. And again, he shows me the bear hugs, and he's like, this is how I want you to remember me, kiddo.
Yes,
and there's
exactly what he would say.
There's something about go-karts or speeding cars or racing or something like this. Do you know what he's talking about?
Kind of. He's all over the place, so yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Slow down. Did your dad have a bit of a weight issue, hun?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, because he shows me his tummy, and then it disappears, and he's like, you know what? I am, like, fit as a fiddle on this side. And he shows me, like, he poses. He's like, look at me on this side.
He hated his stomach. He hated it. He would always, giggle about his belly. So, yeah.
So that's the first thing that he lets you know is that he's, like, and he's making me feel like just all of this relief on the other side. And he's like, I know it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
But while he regrets the way that he died, I don't feel like he regrets being on the other side.
Right, he's not in pain anymore.
That's exactly how he makes me feel. And it's almost like it's a combination of physical and emotional pain, if that makes sense. It's not just one, it's both.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, slow down, Dad. So you know what he did is he showed me he put his finger over his lips and goes shh, and that's usually my symbol for privacy, so it confused me for a minute. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, don't tell her, but wait till you see the gift that I'm getting her this year. And he says, you know, I'm overdue, Tracy. He's like, even when I was alive, I wasn't very good at that kind of stuff. My kids knew that I loved them, but I wasn't the best gift giver.
I thought he was pretty awesome.
He's like, you know what? I can top that. Maybe that's why he's like so focused on it.
Yeah, he was. He was always apologizing for his gifts because he felt they didn't cost enough, or, you know, his perfume from the market wasn't. He would think that we thought it wasn't good enough.
Aww. Well,
I
you know
loved
what? Now that he's on the other side and he has access to the synchronization and you know what I mean, things like that, he can pull strings. He's making me feel like he's got something in the works for Christmas. There's something about a vehicle. I'm not sure if this is what he's talking about. And he's like very much, I feel like he's trying to help you with this. Are you trying to buy a vehicle right now?
We kind of did. Yeah, we bought one for other purposes, and then we're in the process of trying to get another one, yes.
He's like, you wait and see the deal you're going to get on this, sweetheart. He's all about the cars, this man. He likes cars.
He does. Before he passed away, actually, we seen him a week before he passed away. We went to Calgary for a hockey tournament for my son, and he gave both of my boys 2 big, huge cases of cars.
Aww.
So that would mean that he's bringing up cars. The last thing that they ever got from him was a case of cars.
You know,
so, yeah, that would make sense that he would want to bring up cars.
And you know what? As you talk about your boys, he very proudly shows me the symbol of where he points to himself and then to the child. Now, when I see them do that, that usually means that either one of your children carry his name, or either first, middle, or whatnot, or one of your children is exactly like him.
Yes, one of them is like him. They were very, 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 very close. He left one of my children a note out of all the grandchildren, and it was really, really special.
Aww.
So, which I have not given him yet because he's still young. He's 13, so.
You know what? Your dad is playing that song in my head, Get a Haircut and Get a Real Job. Does your son need a haircut by any chance?
Did I get a haircut?
No, your son. Does he need a haircut by any chance?
Yes. Yes, because he keeps curling his hair with a curling iron.
Oh.
Because of the perm thing, right?
Oh,
and
my
I keep
goodness.
telling him, you need to cut your hair like a real haircut. I'm tired of paying for you to get a little bit of a haircut. And he just did get a haircut, but it wasn't really cut.
Yeah, so your dad is validating that he's very, he's watching over you guys. He's there with you. He knows what this is about, and he agrees with you. He's like, that kid needs to cut his hair.
Yes.
Aw, they're pulling their energy back, hon. I hope that was helpful for you.
It was, and I don't want to take up all the time. I want to give this opportunity to somebody else. Thank you so much. You brought through the people that I really wanted to come through, and I am so, so grateful, and I appreciate your time and work, and I definitely don't want to keep you on. I want you to move on to someone else. Thank you so much.
You are very, very welcome. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. How do I do this? Oops. Here we go. Oops. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Were you calling in for the free reading?
Pardon?
Were you calling in for the free reading? Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Are you there?
Yes, you cannot hear me?
Yes,
Okay. Are you calling in for the free reading?
I am.
Okay, what was your first name?
Alicia.
Alicia. Okay. So give me a minute to just focus here a second, and we'll see who comes through. Okay. somebody's got a musical connection because right away I'm seeing music notes and whatnot. So there's some type of music connection here. I'm not sure what this is yet. Hold on a second. Can you do me a favor, hun? Can you turn your me basically down in the background? I can kind of hear myself. It's just a little bit distracting.
Yep, it's off.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Okay, so the first person that comes through, I'm going to, like I said, musical notes. That's going to come into play a little bit later. I'm going to put that to the side. I'm not sure how that relates yet. But then this lady steps forward, and she steps forward with rose-colored glasses, which is my symbol for when Spirit sees things differently on that side than they did when they were here in the physical world. By the energy of it, it almost feels like a mother-in-law, or it could be like a mother or an auntie or something like that, but she's definitely coming through kind of apologetically, if this makes sense.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Do you have a mother-in-law that's on the other side?
A mother-in-law?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Okay. See, this is why I don't usually try to figure out the relationships. I just ask them to tell me how they died, and you can tell me how you relate to them. So hold on a sec. Oh, this is also how I can misinterpret a reading just based on going too fast. Okay, so she shows me the rose-colored glasses, and then when I ask her to, like, let me know how she passes away, immediately I feel like I feel like she was ill for some time before she passed away, and then this is why she's showing me that she's wearing the rose-colored glasses, because it's almost like things were left unsaid, or things were left, she should have fixed things more before she passed away, and she didn't really get the chance because she was at the end of her life, or she got really cranky at the end of her life or something. But there's something about not fixing that communication before she died.
Okay.
Do you know who that would be to you?
The only person I could think of would be my stepdaughter.
I see. Which would explain why it feels like a mother-in-law kind of connection, because it's not a family connection. Okay. That makes sense, because she automatically steps forward with the rose-colored glasses, and she's seeing things differently on that side than she did when she was here in the physical world. And she, very frank. I feel like this girl was very blunt. And she just says, you need to know I was wrong, and I'm sorry, and I love you. And then she's like, yes, and I mean that. I love you. Like, I should have said that more. I should have expressed this gratitude more here in the physical world. And she's very grateful. That's exactly the feeling that goes with her emotion, is this sense of gratitude. But was she ill for some time before she passed away?
Yeah.
Okay. So hold on a second. Interesting. I feel like she's apologizing for the chaos it brought between you and Dad, that I feel like is still kind of lingering there. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
And she's absolutely apologizing for this, and then she looks at her dad and she's like, Daddy, please don't take her out of your life. She is the best thing that ever happened to you. And I need you to know that it's not her fault. It is absolutely not her fault. She's sorry that she left that legacy, and it's almost like you were so kind to her. The reason why I know that she was ill at the end is because she makes me feel like you still helped her at the end of her life, even though you didn't have to, and even though she didn't make it easy for you. And so for that, she's grateful. And she needs you to know that.
You are absolutely dead on in everything you just said.
Okay. So hold on a second. There's another energy that's trying to step forward as well. It feels like, see, this is why I shouldn't guess relationship, but it is definitely an older male, possibly a father figure. He's above you, not under you. And he steps forward doing the little wiggle, which is usually my symbol for somebody who has free mobility on the other side, that maybe had struggled with mobility here in the physical world, or at least towards the end of their life had issues with mobility. Does that make sense to you? Interesting. He's asking permission if it's okay to come forward and give you a message. And he's like, Tracy, I would need a whole box of rose-colored glasses for this reading. So was there a bit of a strained relationship? Is this dad, by the way?
It's either my father or my mother's boyfriend.
Okay, so hold on. I would like, okay, which one had the mobility issue?
I'm not sure.
Okay, hold on a second. So he stands up straight and he shows me his great figure and he's like, me. He's like, I couldn't move. Like, I feel like there maybe not so much mobility, but weight that interfered with his mobility. And that's why he feels so free and clear on that side, because he's like fit as a fiddle over there. Slow down, slow down.
Grandfather.
Interesting. I heard you say grandfather.
Yep.
And when you say that, I feel like bingo, like I literally heard bingo. And then I'm like, well, why are you coming forward with so much rose-colored glasses and telling me that you need to, like, you could have, like, what is this? And he said, it starts with me. It starts in my generation. He's like, you know, we pass down some chains of, you know, bad behavior throughout the family, and he needs to apologize for that. And then he turns to you and he shows me my symbol for thank you for the things that you have done to break that cycle.
Okay.
And then he also brings in, like, your husband's family, and he's talking about that they appreciate it as well, because your husband also has some of these same struggles in his family's history. And he's talking about that the little things that you do that you seem to pass off as no big deal, but it's almost like, you know, if you stuck a note in your son's lunch, or, you know what I mean? Like, just little things that you do as a parent, that your parents did so differently that you don't think anything about it. That's just what a parent does. Even though your parents did it differently, you parent your children differently because you love them, and you might not think twice about it. But to your family on the other side, every time you make those decisions and you cut those chains of abuse, you give them peace on the other side, because they get to see that their legacy, or, you know, the things that they leave behind, which have caused pain to people, are starting to ease up. And because you have changed that. So it's not going to be continually passed down. And so he has a gratitude about that because he feels peace. He needs to express a lot of apologies to his family. That's just the way he says it. And he's like, you know, if any of them see this, they just need to know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. There's another energy. It's also a male energy, I believe, but he's not identifying who he is. He just goes, let's talk about the house. Let's talk about the house. And I'm like, well, can you tell me who you are first? Like, and I feel like he's like, his energy is very much, okay, we got an agenda, let's get to it. Like, there's no skipping a beat. This is like, go, 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 go. Hold on. Who had that very determined energy, kind of? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I can't think right now.
Okay, I'm going to make him slow down and validate how he passed away. Hold on. He's like, that was an interesting response I got. He basically said, well, it's not like it was anything special. I feel like it was like a heart attack or something that was quick, or just like the way he puts it, generic kind of. It's not like, you know, I had some big spectacular death or anything. It was just like a normal death. I've never had Spirit explain their passing to me that way before.
Okay.
Is your mom still here in the physical world?
No.
Interesting. Okay. Because he says that he literally said the word mom, and then he showed me putting a white blanket around her shoulders. Sometimes the white blanket can confuse me a little, because what the white blanket represents is that Spirit is watching over somebody who has health or stress issues. And so sometimes I see them do this for people who have passed away, is they put the white blanket around their shoulders because it's their way of letting you know that they were watching over them before they passed away, and that they were there for them when they did get to that side, that they were there to greet their soul.
Okay.
And then this is interesting. So is this grandfather that's coming through, is that Mom's dad?
Yeah, he's passed away, yes.
Because they show me the handshake, so they've made peace on the other side. She's letting you know that whatever that tension was between them, or it almost feels like it's an unspoken tension, if that makes sense. It's not like we all sat around and discussed it, and it's not like I had a bad relationship with my dad, but it's not like he's my favorite person in the world either. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And she's talking about being able to find the peace on that side, that with her dad, and that feels like it's very important in her life. And okay, interesting. Your mom just put tape over her mouth. So when I see Spirit put tape over their mouth, that's usually my symbol for somebody that either said something they shouldn't have said or didn't say things that they should have said.
Could be either one, yep.
And I feel like she wants to acknowledge that right away. It's not so much that, like, she doesn't show me the rose-colored glasses, that in the sense of like an apology, because I feel like that's just her character, that we don't go around apologizing for this stuff. But we acknowledge it. And that's what she wants to give you right now, is an acknowledgement that she knows that she should have shut her mouth during different parts of your life, and that would have made that relationship easier between the two of you. And she's taking responsibility for that. And then she shows me my symbol for pride, about how close. So you have children?
Yes.
There's 2, right?
No, there's actually 4.
Okay, interesting.
3 here.
Interesting. So when I said that to you, there's 2, right? And you said, no, there's more. When I said that, I'm like, well, what do you mean the 2? Because she had singled out the 2. So what she says is the way that you parent these 2 children, which I feel like are a bit more of a handful than the rest of the children, which is why she singles these 2 out. She says that the way that you parent them gives her goosebumps on the other side, that she learns so much about parenting from you. And it feels more like in an emotional sense, how to be comfortable with our emotions and let our children know that they are loved. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She has absolutely met up with your stepdaughter on the other side. It's interesting because she makes me feel like they're almost 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
It's like they could have been mother-daughter. Like, they're very similar personalities. I feel like they get along very well on the other side, and they like to hang out a lot. I feel like your mom has kind of taken her under her wing and is trying to help her come to grips with some of the decisions that she's made in her life.
Yeah.
Aw, she's pulling her energy back a little bit. She's like, you just need to know that we love you very much, and I didn't say that enough in the physical world, and I should have said it before I passed away. Like, I should have. She's emphasizing the way she should have said it. It's almost like if she said it, but you didn't think she meant it or something, because the way that she's saying it is like, I should have showed you that I meant this before I passed away, and I'm sorry that I didn't, but please know that I love you unconditionally. And she specifies that word, unconditionally. And she has absolute faith in you, and she is absolutely watching over you. And she's enjoyed the conversation that you had recently. So there was it's almost like, I don't know if you like were talking to her before you called in saying, Mom, help me here, like come through or something. But she's talking about enjoying that conversation, and please don't let that stop because she will respond. She's a little pushy, hey?
Yeah.
She starts to pull her energy back, and then she goes, wait. We have to talk about the ring. I think it's the ring, or the jewelry. She's talking about the jewelry that's been passed down. And then there's a feeling of, like, relief. It's almost like she, maybe in a sense of, I don't know if it's spite or just that sense of being in a judgmental frame of mind when she decided who gets what of hers, et cetera, et cetera. And then it was switched around a little bit after she passed away. And she's talking about that she's extremely happy that this was switched around because she didn't mean to leave anybody out. Do you know what she's talking about there?
Yep.
Okay. So she wants you to know that she's grateful for that you guys did switch that around. And just please know that her soul is with you, watching over you, and very much still communicating with you on the other side.
Okay.
I hope that was helpful.
It was. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. You have a great day.
Thank you very much. You as well.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, now let's see if I can answer this. Hello?
Hello?
Hi. Were you
Hi.
calling for the free readings?
Yes.
Okay, what is your first name?
Caitlin?
Caitlin. Okay, so give me just a minute here to, focus, and we'll see who comes through. Okay. Slow down. Interesting. Okay, so there is a few people that are there that step forward. However, the first person that I feel like that wants to talk, I don't really feel like, I feel like if this isn't a sister, then it's like somebody who is like a sister, or it could even be male, but it's because I'm a girl, so I'm feeling like that close bond. Do you know what I mean? Did you lose somebody to the side of you? That, like, when I say to the side, it's usually, like, above is, like, parents, grandparents, below is children, nieces, nephews, etc. So to the side is, like, our peer group kind of age. So is there somebody that to the side of you that you lost?
Yeah, not that I was really close with them.
Okay, so hold on. Slow down. She's taking deep breaths on the other side, which is my symbol for somebody that can breathe freely on the other side that maybe had a breathing issue here in the physical world. Actually, she's taking me to that last moment where I feel like I can't breathe, so I don't know if this is like heart attack or like there's something where I just can't breathe at the end. Does that make sense?
No, I'm not sure. No.
Hold on. See, Spirit's never usually wrong in the information that they give. It's maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. And like I said, there was 3 people that stepped forward in the beginning, so we could have like a mixture of all 3 here going on. So let me see if I can sort through this a little bit, because she keeps showing me the same symbol over and over and over again. So I must not be interpreting this correctly. Hold on. So the 2 people that are behind her, they feel like they are on different sides of the family. So it's almost like if you lost one grandparent on mom's side and one grandparent on dad's side, they step forward separately, so they were not married in the physical world. But they are definitely above you. Hold on a sec. I feel like I'm going to the male side, and he's the one that's taking the deep breaths and talking about the breathing issue and the snapping of the fingers, which is where their passing is quick or unexpected. So even if they were ill, that would mean that we weren't expecting them to pass when they did.
And this is a male? That's above me?
Yes. So this would be like grandfather, uncle, father, somebody like that.
Yeah, I have a grandfather, I guess, that's passed.
From, like, there's a breathing issue towards the end there. That makes sense?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm really not sure how he was.
Okay.
Young.
Well, it's one of the ways that I ask Spirit to validate so that I know exactly, so that you know exactly who is coming through. Because getting the familial ties is difficult for me when you have so many step people and you know what I mean? So, okay, so hold on. But then when we go to the other side of the family, the lady there takes me to the head. So when they take me to the head, that's usually my symbol for somebody who had Alzheimer's or dementia or a stroke or had trouble communicating towards the end. So would that make sense is for the grandmother figure on the other side?
No, it doesn't. No.
You don't understand the communication thing that she's talking about?
I don't think so. Maybe. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Like, all I can do is, like, tell you what they say, right? And I get that sometimes it's difficult if we didn't know them so well in the physical world, because I have no control over who comes through. But the thing is, whatever you're going through in your life right now, the spirit that comes through, it may not be the person you expect. It'll be the person that feels like they can offer you the most assistance at this time, that can offer you the most healing. So I know we can't identify who these people are, and I get that, and that's like a first for me. So, but what I do want to do before I let you go here is I want to talk about the message that they keep playing in my ear here, so that and if this doesn't make sense for you, then I don't know how to help you. But they keep letting me know that this is, like, extremely important to talk about this message.
Okay.
They show me a fork in the road, that you have a decision or you have some major decisions that are coming up in your path. They show me that I feel like I'm having a hard time making this decision, that there's some type of emotional attachment to the decision, like how I emotionally feel about this. Hold on a sec. Are you planning to go back to school? There's something about either starting a new job or starting new learning, and this is just one of the forks in the road. You know what I mean? One of the possibilities.
I am thinking about that. Yeah.
This is the direction that she's encouraging you to go down. Greatly encouraging you to go down, because she's talking about finding your voice, learning to stand up for yourself, and learning to do things for you. She's showing me my symbol for, like, people pleaser, somebody who really likes to take care of people and make sure everybody else is okay and kind of puts themselves last. And she's talking about that this is your moment to step forward and do what you need to do, and to just take heart, because you will be very successful at this. And then she goes, the details will fall into place, dear. The details will fall into place. Don't worry about those. Just take one step in front of the other.
Okay.
I feel like that was the most important message that you needed to hear today. And I'm sorry that we can't really identify who these people are. Maybe if you...
I think I know who the first one was, but we just weren't that close.
But see, you know what?
He's more a friend of my husband's, so...
Okay, but see, the reason why I think that she would be stepping forward is because I feel like she relates to your situation. Do you know what I mean? That she was in a similar situation in her life, so because of that, she's coming forward wanting to offer that advice to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm sorry that was a little bit cryptic, and as most people who watch my videos know, that it's a little bit unusual, but I hope that you were still able to find some peace in that message.
Yeah, thank you.
You are very welcome. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, guys. That being said, I'm sorry it's like just after 1. It's 1:11. I know I said till 1:15, but I have to be at another place by exactly 1:45. So I'm going to leave it at here for today. I'm sorry to anybody else that didn't get through, but I promise you that, you know what, as you've seen today, you will get through when you need to get through. And upon listening to other people's messages, that is usually, it's not an accident that you're here watching this when you're watching this. Sometimes just hearing those messages come through for other people is enough to remind you that, your loved ones are still here in the physical world and they are trying to communicate with you. If I could say one thing to everybody before you leave, that is just to please communicate with your loved ones. They are your biggest cheerleaders on the other side. And they will do anything in their power to communicate with you and help you on the other side. So absolutely, please continue to talk to them. And I hope that you will join me again on this Tuesday at noon Calgary time. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.